This is the 645th regular Arizona Racing Commission meeting of June 9th, 2016, held at 1110 West Washington, Suite 250, Phoenix, Arizona 85007. And this is the first open session.
We're on the back.
Okay. You ready?
Test one. Are we?
Oh, turn the power on.
Test 1, 2. Okay, good. Yes. All right, I'd like to call to order the 645th regular Arizona Racing Commission meeting on June 9th, 2016. Madam Secretary, can you please do a roll call?
Commissioner Garay.
Present.
Commissioner Feldmeyer is absent. Commissioner Lawless.
Here.
Present on telephone, Commissioner Heupel.
Here.
Commissioner McClintock.
Here.
Present on telephone. We have a quorum, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you everyone for attending today's meeting. It's very appreciative of all of you to attend, showing your interest in our industry. First item is B, executive session. If there's no objection, I'd like to move that to the end, so if we do need to go in there, everyone can go home and not have to sit around and wait on us. So the next item up for discussion will be C, new business. Number 1, Rialto Park Racetrack 3-year permit.
This is Rito Racing. They have submitted a 3-year commercial permit application back in 2014. So this is the completion of their 3-year permit. They've been at a substantive stage for rather a long time. And the reason for the delay was that, and Jay Wells, who I'm sure will enlighten you on this, they've had some issues with the county, Pima County, as far as securing a long-term lease. They have done that, not a long-term lease, a 2-year lease. They have done that now. Their lease, I think, runs through June of 2017. And so the application has been complete. You've seen the report that Andrew Hawks has done on Rito, and the department's recommendation is an approval for their commercial racetrack permit.
Is there any discussion on this?
I read Mr. Hawks' report and I wholeheartedly support it and would make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Madam Secretary, can you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Garay.
Yes.
Commissioner Lawless.
Yes.
Commissioner Heupel.
Yes.
Commissioner McClintock.
Yes.
Thank you. It carries.
Okay, thank you. Next item is number 2, Turf Paradise application for new wagering site, A, Quality Inn and Suites, 271 Lake Havasu Avenue in Lake Havasu.
This is again another OTB application. Wendy Jackson, our department, has done the investigation as well as the on-site inspection. Everything seems to be in order as far as including the approval, all the approvals that are needed. So obviously the department recommends approval.
Contingent.
Any discussion?
Contingent upon.
If not, I would entertain a motion.
Excuse me.
Yeah, one moment. One second. I apologize. I misspoke. There is a contingency on the Lake Havasu City Council. Their meeting is June 14th, and they will need to have an approval of that. So they'll be
subject to.
Right.
Is this?
I'll amend my motion to approve subject to that contingency.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Madam Secretary, please roll call.
Commissioner Garay.
Yes.
Commissioner Lawless.
Yes.
Commissioner Heupel.
Yes.
Commissioner McClintock.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item is Tucson Greyhound Park request to amend 2016 live race dates.
This is an amendment just to add one more day onto the live racing season for TGP. It's done so the pay periods, none of the employees down at TGP will miss a day of pay, as well as the kennels will have one additional day to race. And obviously the department recommends approval.
Michael, did you have anything you wanted to add, or are we good?
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, I think we're good. I can give you a very quick update now, if you'd like, on dog adoption, completely at your discretion when you'd like that.
Let's go ahead and get that now. So,
get it out of the way. Very good. We've been progressing very, very well. The track has entered into agreements with all the kennel operators. They've made supplemental payments to them to just help the kennel operators out. There's the second half of that supplemental payment gets made after all dogs are adopted. The kennels have been working and doing a great job working with different adoption agencies. The facility is already down to under 300 dogs, probably around 270, 280 dogs. There are plans in place for the relocation of all of those dogs and significant transports starting on the Sunday after the last Saturday day that we're requesting today. We expect, it's looking like all the animals will be placed either in adoption agencies or other racing facilities within 5 days of the end of live racing. So there will be no need for long-term housing of animals. We've had pledges of food and supply from NGA and from Arizona Humane as necessary. I've worked with Arizona Humane. They are also offering free spay and neuter services to any Arizona adoption agencies that are receiving dogs out of this. And then Gray 2K and the track owners have created a fund that's going to go to those adoption agencies to defray transport costs and other costs. We get weekly reports from all the kennels on the number of dogs, the disposition reports, and I'm very pleased to say that so far this process is going more smoothly and more rapidly than, candidly, I would have expected. So I'm very pleased with the process so far, but a lot of people are contributing to it.
You mentioned you're down to 270 to 300 dogs.
Yes.
How many did you start with?
At the beginning of the year, there were about 440. That had dropped to just over 400, sort of when it became pretty clear that the law was going to pass. And during that period, 120 dogs have already been relocated. So really impressed, and now the kennels, the track are managing the process very carefully to make sure that we can do full races up through that last day. And again, that really helps out the employees and the kennels. So we're really focusing on trying to manage that as well as the relocation of all the animals. I just really like to thank the division, Mr. Stiles, Mr. Casillas, everyone that's been working with us on this process, because it really has been a lot of folks.
I know I have no questions. So the motion would be for just extending it to the 25th.
One additional day.
Yeah.
I'll move that we extend to Saturday, or one additional day of live racing for
Tucson Greyhound Park.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Madam Secretary?
Commissioner Garay,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawless,
Aye.
Commissioner Heupel,
Yes.
Commissioner McClintock.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And before we get to the information reports, along with that, I would just like to thank all the charitable organizations that have stepped up to the plate to help take care of the greyhounds. Many of you know I came from the adoption community before moving over to here, and they are the most amazing people, and it's shown in the work that they're doing. So on behalf of myself, and I know that all of my fellow commissioners, we want to thank all the people, volunteers in the charitable organizations taking care of our greyhounds. It's a huge undertaking, and you guys are doing a great job, so thank you. Okay, the next item would be information reports, and so we have, first item is an update of racing budget. And there she is.
Hello. The budget, as I projected, is going basically as I thought it would. We've had some additional savings that we had not accounted for previously, mostly due to personnel cuts. As I project through the end of this fiscal year, we should end the fiscal year with about $1.1 million in the bank, which is $300,000 over what I had estimated. But again, like I said, mostly it's due to personnel cuts, some operating cuts. I don't foresee 17 to be much different. Right now, we're really not able to forecast the total effect of TGP closing because of no final decisions have been made on personnel at this time. We're looking roughly at about $65,000 worth of savings in testing, and a reduction of about $1 million of revenue, which is the estimate at this point, from the loss of the live racing at TGP. Rent will be a savings of roughly $80,000.
Can you repeat that?
Sorry.
You estimate $1 million loss of revenue?
$11 million loss of revenue from TGP.
11 or 1?
11
Okay.
11 million from
with simulcast, and yes, because we don't anticipate some of those people to come back.
Out of the 14 million revenue, it was projected 11.1 million was from out-of-state bettors into TGP. And so we are forecasting that the majority of that 11.1 million more than likely will not be coming into Arizona from out-of-state bettors.
Like I said, the rent is down, starting in the new fiscal year 17. The rent for racing will be $79,000 instead of $160,000, so it's an $80,000 savings. That's kind of my update at this point in time.
Is there any further questions? Thank you. All right, and the next item is number 2, discussion of the RWA. Mr. Director?
Yes, not a whole lot to report there. I know that the industry, Turf Paradise, is very interested in looking at the RWA to possibly modify that percentage amount. As I had asked previously when we increased it, that my preference was to leave it in place at 0.85 for at least a 12-month period, stabilize the agency's budget, see where we're at, and then make a sound decision based on how things are shaping up with the industry and the handle, and make a decision where we can possibly reduce that amount and to what level. I'm willing to entertain some follow-up.
Can you move the microphone over?
I'm willing to entertain some follow-up meetings with the industry to have open discussions on the matter. However, I do not want to make any quick decisions on it at this point.
Well, and I imagine right now, too, with the Tucson Greyhound Park closing and us you not knowing all the impact and all that, it's can be a little difficult right now.
Exactly.
And I think at the one meeting where we made it 8.5, did we give it till June, or did we?
The commission decided that we would revisit it in June and evaluate where we're at.
All right. So as of right now, it looks like we need to let it ride until.
Yes, sir.
And when's the next commission meeting where we could discuss it further would be in September?
The next commission meeting is the 8th of September, and I had actually put this on for quarterly because over the summer we're closing out things, and there really isn't any change in revenue, if I'm correct, during the summer because there's no racing going on. So it'd probably be more beneficial to look at it maybe back in like November or December when you have revenue coming in and the track settle down from Tucson closing. That's just my opinion.
Mr. Sins, did you have anything to?
Just want to say that we had, good afternoon to everybody, good morning. We had 2 good meetings with the department, but we have been asking for a meeting. I know that Lloyd wants, do you want to speak to this?
Well, I can, yeah. Director, Commissioners, Lloyd Joseph of the HBPA. We've had a couple of meetings on this topic with stakeholders, and I would like to request that we have maybe one more by the end of the month before the new budget goes into effect, that we can kind of wrap up and generalize where we're at. And I understand that you can't make any hard decisions maybe until you figure out what happens with all these changes, but if it could be possible, I'd like to have a request a meeting.
And you had mentioned that you'd like to have a couple of meetings with the stakeholders. I think that's something that can be done here in the next couple of months.
Yes, I will have staff members reach out to you by email, and we'll set up a meeting and have a casual discussion on
Okay, thank you very much.
It might be helpful for that meeting for us to take a look at and just estimate what the potential impact would be of having Tucson Greyhound closing. And I don't know if we can really do that, but if we can look at the numbers and extrapolate out somehow.
We can give some potential projections.
It might be helpful for that meeting to have a guess of what the impact might be.
Well, there's been several changes in what was reported on last in the budget of where our handle is, and it's down. There's some things that's changed in that. The handle should be up. It should be continuing on an increase that we can discuss. And I'm sure the department's got a lot of changes with the things that's going on with Tucson and Greyhound Park and so forth. So I think it'd be beneficial just to have one more meeting and wrap things up for the
Yeah, because I know when we had kind of set June as a date to revisit this, at that time, we didn't even know about Tucson Greyhound Park's possibility of closing, and this, I think, does impact what you're going to have to come up with for ourselves. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything further on this subject? Okay. Now the next item, and it's not to exceed 3 minutes, it's the permittee report, so American Greyhound Racing. Thank you. County Fairs. Rialto.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners, and staff. Jay Wells with Retail Racing. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you for your vote of confidence. It's been a long slog. We had our annual board meeting at the Retail Park Foundation on Monday, and someone said dealing with the Pima County summed it up best. It says that everybody wants to be the chicken, but nobody wants to be the egg. And anyway, we do think that having the permit in process and have it actually formalized is going to be a big step forward. So we thank you for that. Also want to take the time to personally thank Greg for shepherding us through this. We were inexperienced, we were new, and the entire staff, everyone up here in the offices processing our paperwork, they were firm when they needed to be firm. They were helpful when we needed help, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
Tucson Greyhound Park.
Dale Pop, General Manager, Tucson Greyhound Park. Just want to reiterate the fact that Tucson's not closing. We're ending the live racing, but we will still be simulcasting once the live racing is ended. And of course, we are doing everything we can to make sure the greyhounds are dispersed properly. We're still making sure everything's being done right. So just want to put everybody at ease on that. I'll make sure that happens up till the last day. Thank you.
And again, Dale, I want to just thank you since you've come on as general manager. I know you've been in a tough job there, but everything I've asked you to do and my workings with you, you've been tremendous. Thank you. So I don't know if we'll ever get to see you here again or not, but
well, hopefully.
Thank you for helping out.
Thank you. And like Mr. Wells said, I feel like I've been the egg instead of the chicken. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And next item, Turf Paradise. Any report from Turf Paradise?
Vincent Franchi, General Manager of Turf Paradise. Just briefly, a safety report, something that was of concern to the Commission and the Director. The lighting posts, 4 lighting posts along the north end of L roads are now being installed. That was a concern that the department wanted us to address. We are in the dark season and getting ready for the live season to open on October 15th.
Yeah, looking forward to winter races next year.
Yes, yes.
And horse racing, of course. All right, now we're on to item 4, which is the optional industry stakeholder association updates. And the first one is Arizona Greyhound Association. Thank you. Arizona Quarter Racing Association. Arizona Thoroughbred Breeders Association. HBPA.
I have no idea.
What? You're out of words?
One Yellow President, HBPA, Director of Commissioners, as I requested earlier, I think one more meeting might be helpful in clarifying some of these things with the changes that the industry has seen in the past few months. Also, along those lines, I'm going to request a meeting with Turf Paradise this summer, relatively soon, that we can address some issues that could be safety issues and some of the things that we need to get accomplished during the summer months before horsemen return in September. So we'll be working on those things this summer, and with that, hopefully by September, we kind of have an idea of who we are and what we are and where we're going. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jockeys Guild. Arizona Counties Racing Association. All right, so now we're on to item E, commission reports, summary of current events. Do we have anything from that? Okay. And anyone have for item 2, identification of matters to be placed on future agendas? All right. Do we have anyone for a call to the public?
No, there wasn't anybody signed up, sir.
All right. With that, it would be the next item, which is was B, executive session. And this is mainly, I believe, so if the commissioners, if we had anything that we needed to discuss with the commission attorney for the upcoming hearing, we could go into executive session if we wanted to on this. So I don't know if any of the 2 commissioners online or here, if they feel we need to. And if you do, you can make a motion to go into executive session. Hearing none, with that, I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
I'll second it. Thank you, everyone.
Meeting ends at 10:24 a.m. 24 a.m. 24 a.m.